My name is Rhiannon Bowen, and this is Behind the Niche with K-Mag.
Hi everyone, my name is Anisha and we are back with another segment of Behind the Niche. Today I have another amazing guest. I'm gonna let her introduce herself.
Hi, my name is Rhiannon Bowen, and I'm the creator and crafting hands behind Silver to Strands, a unique hair jewelry brand that caters to people specifically who love braids.
Amazing. It's so nice to be with you today. Can you just tell us a little bit about what inspired you to start Silver to Strands?
Yeah, absolutely. So my inspiration for the business kind of started with an appreciation for silver jewelry, and kind of creating something by hand that can be long lasting and can be passed down to generations.
Amazing. Okay, so is there a meaning behind the name? Because it's such a unique name for your business.
So, Silver to Strands just felt like a perfect fit as it kind of reflected like the direction and the path that I wanted my brand to take. Silver kind of like symbolizes the quality of the material that I use, and that it's long lasting. And then the strands represents kind of the focal point of my designs.
That's really cool to hear. Again, such a unique name for a business. Can you tell us your journey from first having the idea of the business to actually launching your business in 2024?
Yeah, absolutely. It was a very long process, and it took a long time to build, honestly. It kind of started where I crafted this thing, and I didn't know if anybody would actually be interested in wearing something like that. So I kind of posted my first one, and I actually started on this app called Depop first before actually launching my website. So I remember I kind of posted maybe one or two before I went to bed that night, woke up the next morning, and they had been sold. I was like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. So I kind of started slowly like putting them out on Depop. And then one turned into two, which turned into 10, which turned into 20. And it kind of just really started to spread. I actually the platform that I was choosing to kind of post it on as well was TikTok. And it was really great to kind of see that community build. And it was both exciting and challenging, though.
Yeah, so how old are you when you started this business?
So I, 20.
20.
Yeah.
Okay, that's crazy because, not a lot of people start a business at this age.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
props to you for getting ahead on
Yeah.
that. Um, so what was the first year like running your business?
So it's been extremely rewarding, as well as enlightening. So there's always more to like learn and improve on in like the silversmithing world, and I'm so excited to kind of see how it like builds and how intricate and more detailed my designs can get as I learn more about silversmithing.
Yeah, so you mentioned rewarding. So to follow up on that, um, do you have one part of this business so far that has been the most rewarding?
I think it's seeing how my creations resonate with people. Um, and I've had such positive feedback from customers about, hearing their stories as well. They leave really nice reviews of the ways that they style it or wear it, and how it just really fits their style. And then also, I would say the creative freedom that it brings. I'm a very creative person, and just having an outlet like this is just it's so exciting. So,
Yeah, that's great. I know when you get to see those comments of people actually appreciating your business, it,
yeah,
it means the world.
absolutely.
So speaking to that, running a business, it's not an easy thing. So what's been the biggest challenge for you so far?
So, I think that while I kind of had like a clear vision and like a passion for creating it, I think like navigating the business side would be kind of the biggest challenge for me. It would be like managing like the finances and kind of navigating through customer service was kind of a steep learning curve for me. Because it's really easy to just kind of like create and push out this product that somebody can wear. But then there's that business side to it that it was kind of a steep curve for me because I had to learn that I really didn't know what kind of went into having a business until I actually had it. So,
Yeah, That's yeah, I know. Running a business not is not an easy thing. So again, props to you for being able to go through that and
Yeah.
navigate that area and aspect. With that, how do you balance creativity and that business aspect of running your company?
So it's kind of been a real struggle for me to kind of transfer my energy from, crafting and creating this thing and manufacturing it, and then going into the business side. I'm being completely honest, I'm really still learning how to balance it. It's a lot easier to just create something than it is to handle like paperwork and customer service. And as I run into issues, I kind of just have to like face it straight on and learn how I'm going to handle this in the future. Because I mean, there's been so many situations where I'm like, I never could have imagined that could have happened, but let's fix it and know how to move forward with it in the future. So
Yeah, I totally relate to that. I'm also consider myself a very creative person. So like when I'm trying to like do things or if I'm like trying to sell something, I totally relate to what you're talking about. And again, it's great that you're just able to just take those problems head on and go through it because some people struggle with that a lot.
yeah,
And it takes a lot of courage and strength. So again, it's amazing
absolutely.
on your end.
And honestly, my parents, like, I would love to say that I have done this like completely by myself, but my parents have been such a huge help to me in kind of navigating that. My dad has a like natural just instinct for customer service. I really do believe it's his calling. And there's some times where I'm just like, how do I handle this? How do I go about this? And he just always has the right answer. And it's been like extremely helpful to help me navigate that, especially going into it kind of at a young age and not really having experience with things like customer service. So it's been amazing.
That's great. So, any unexpected hurdles or learning moments specifically that you would like to, tell people about? So, if they encounter it while they're running their business, maybe they have some guidance.
Absolutely. So I think that my biggest hurdle or learning moment would be international shipping. Um, it involves a lot more time and paperwork than most people would think. I so the first 2 months that I had my website open, I did not have international shipping available. As much as I would have loved to have it available, I just didn't. And I got a lot of requests for it. So I was like, you know what? Like, I'm gonna make it happen. So as I was going into it, there's just so much time involved in doing because each order has to have its own custom paperwork to where it's going. And then also, I've come into contact that it takes a lot longer to get there than you would think. And I kind of hate that because with, in the states where I'm shipping from, it takes usually about a week or less, most of the time less. But with international shipping, it kind of has to go out to a carrier service, and that can take weeks to process. And then when it finally goes out and gets into the country that it needs to go into, I mean, by the time they get it, a month could have gone by, And I just hate that because I just wish that I could just get it to their door as fast as I possibly can. But that has been the biggest hurdle for me. So,
Okay. Yeah, that's one thing that I know a lot of people with like businesses have to navigate as well. So again,
yes.
learning moments like that, it always takes some time. But again, uh, speaking a little bit more closely on your actual jewelry, your hair jewelry, how do you source your materials and what do you look for in quality?
So I try to source my stones as locally as I possibly can and as much as I can. I actually get my turquoise from one of the last remaining like working mines in the United States. I think it's called the Kingsman mine. And I think that is really cool. And then for my sterling silver, I also get it from the States, but I actually don't like smelt it myself. I get it in sheets so that I know that and I can look at and see that the silver is the best quality. So,
That's cool. Especially being able to support local. I love that.
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Can you walk us through the process of creating a braid band? And for those who don't know, maybe explaining what that actually is from start to finish?
Yeah, absolutely. So, the first part that goes into the process would be the concept. So when I first started making them, I kind of had like the base layer design. And let me see if I don't even know that I have one around here. I actually do. I have one right here. So this is a gold one, but it looks like this. And then on the back, there is a hook. And the hook actually like slides directly onto the hairband on your braid so that it's nice and secure. But so the first part is the concept. I kind of have to take the picture in my mind that I've either thought of or got inspiration for. And I take it and I kind of pick my materials and I design how big or small that I want it. The next part would be choosing the stone for it. I have a ton of stones, so I kind of just go through and see which one would be fit the best or just resonates with the piece the best. And then I prototype it. Now, 99% of the ones that I design first are not the finished product. And I end up kind of just like pocketing them and keeping them. And I have all these like designs where I've like made it and then there has to be like a design change because something either didn't work or it just looks better a different way. And then the next part of the process would just be I then take it, I set the stone, and then I photograph it and I put it up on the website. All of my braid bands, though, are made to order now. So once I kind of have a design set in place, I just follow that each time I get an order for it. And I try to make them as standard as possible so that everybody's getting the same thing. But because it's handcrafted, sometimes there's like slight variation, whether in stones or like the metal. So, yeah.
Amazing. So how long does it actually take to like craft one of those?
So collectively, putting it all together, it takes about 6 hours to complete a piece from start to finish. Now, because I am kind of manufacturing them, whenever I get orders, I kind of make them in bulk. So I'll do them all together. I'll pull all the orders and I go through each step of the process together. So when I'm doing it collectively like that, it can take about 1 to 4 days. So.
Wow, that's a lot of time, especially you think, for such a small like piece of jewelry, it wouldn't take that long, but I've made jewelry myself too, and I know that sometimes it can take a while. So
yeah.
it's great that you can share that with people so people actually know how long it goes into the process.
Absolutely.
Are there any specific hair types or styles that your jewelry work best for?
Yeah, so my product, I've heard back that it really resonates with the people that wear braids mostly because kind of that's how it was designed. But I think the product works best with people with long hair. And then the hair type specifically, I mean, it's really there for everyone. But now it was made for braids, but it can be styled in other ways. It truly is flexible like that. And I think even on like my Instagram and my website, I kind of showcase different ways that customers have actually styled them that I'm like, I wouldn't even thought of that, but that's a great way to do it. So it's really flexible.
Amazing. So I'm also going to, off of that point, assume that both men and women can wear it.
Yes, absolutely. The product was truly designed to be unisex. And everybody with braids seems to really love the product, and I like that it can be very inclusive like that and be worn by both men and women. I actually have a customer who bought it for her boyfriend, and she has sent me so many pictures where she's like, he wears it better than I do, and he has like long ginger hair, and she's bought him several pieces of like green stones that just really pop with his ginger hair, and it makes me so happy.
That's amazing. I love that. So I've seen a lot of your designs from your Instagram and TikTok, and personally, I really love your scorpion one that you made. It's so beautiful. How do you find inspiration for these designs?
Yeah, so a lot of my inspiration truly comes from nature, whether it's like an animal or a texture or a color. It really does come from nature. And then as well as my own personal style, I really think about how, number one, would I wear something like this? And then I also think about how somebody else would feel wearing it. And honestly, I'm really working on branching out, because even if something isn't my style, somebody else might really resonate with it. So I'm really working on branching out like that, but a lot of it does come from nature and then something that I would personally wear.
That's amazing. I was also looking at some of your designs, and while I was looking at them, um, I wear Indian jewelry when I like go on to like different events and like that because it's a part of my culture. And I saw this like really pretty one which was gold and it had a purple stone, and I was like, this can go with like some of my outfits and stuff like that. So I just love how even though the pieces can be so simple, they can fit so many different types of styles.
Yes,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah. So with your business kind of forward looking, where do you see your hair jewelry kind of evolving in the next couple of years?
I would absolutely love to see it in both high fashion and everyday wear. I think it's something that can truly be dressed down or up. And I would just love to see it be used more in that way. And I love seeing people style it differently based on their style or um, just things like that. And I would just really love to see it there.
Yeah, that's amazing. Do you have kind of like any plans to like expand silver to strands in the future, or are you kind of still like
So
kind of thinking about it?
yeah, so I would love to expand just beyond the regular braid bands. I do love playing with different designs for them, but I would also like to offer different types of kind of hair accessories, like maybe some French hairpins or hair clips that are still using the sterling silver and gemstones. But I think it would really flow like seamlessly with my brand in the way that it's heading. I think I would also like to offer more like custom pieces where kind of customers can go and pick their beads, like the bead colors and how they want it, and then as well as their gemstones and things like that. And I would also really like to offer like custom engraving because I think that people would be able to customize it to something that they would wear or even like a symbol or something like that.
That's really creative. I'd be excited to see some of those like designs in the future. Um, what's your favorite piece that you've designed so far, if you have one?
Absolutely. So my favorite piece is the one that you mentioned earlier, the scorpion. I even pulled it aside.
It's
I
so
just
beautiful.
I love it so much. I can't get enough of it. It is absolutely like my favorite piece I think I've ever made.
It's amazing. If there was one influencer or celebrity or just a person in general, who would you want to see wearing your jewelry?
Yeah, so I would absolutely love to see Bella Hadid wearing some braid bands. She's recently come out with like the brands that she's working with right now. I've seen her in a lot of braids, and I would love to see some braid bands just adorning her hair.
You know what? I think that's a great choice because she's been having some like Western, like
Yes,
cowboy type dressing.
absolutely.
Her style has just changed to a little bit to like that. I think that would look amazing on her. So yeah, okay, as a business owner, I know a lot of people have funny experiences. Have you had any like funny stories with customers or like unexpected encounters?
So I haven't had any funny stories. I've had so many sweet and amazing customers. I did have something unexpected happen that just warmed my heart. And I recently had somebody reach out to me about a wedding, and I have never made braid bands for weddings before. And I was just so excited to be able to do that. And we went back and forth for about a month over email, just kind of going through the different stones and beads and layering them and seeing how they could match up with the wedding colors. And it was amazing to be able to work with somebody like that and then actually make it and get it to her doorstep. And she actually had her wedding actually this week, and I'm super excited. She's sending me photos back. And I'm just so excited to see them and see how she was able to kind of incorporate silver strands into her wedding. So
Oh, that's amazing having like such a beautiful moment with your jewelry. So that's so amazing. I'm so happy for you that that got to
thank you.
happen. Um, Kind of closing off now, what's one thing, or maybe a couple things if you have, that people might not know about, the art of making jewelry? I know you posted, I saw a photo on your Instagram of you, like your hands were kind of like bruised
Yeah.
up and like messed up for making jewelry, and I know that takes a lot of energy and time.
Yeah.
So is there anything you would like to share about that?
Absolutely. I think one of the most important things about jewelry making is really, and this might sound strange, but having a deep relationship with your metal. really sitting there and learning it and kind of learning how it flows and the right temperature that it needs. I think when I first started making the actual braid bands, it took me about a month to get to actually know the metal and kind of perfect my first braid band. And I've actually worked with a couple different metals. I strictly use a 925 sterling silver because I've learned that that works best for me. But I've played with other metals like brass, and it was just extremely hard to use. But I think sterling silver is just so malleable, and also long lasting. But I think just really getting to know your metal, and then also, like with my hands, I've gotten to be extremely careful. There's a lot of times where like that'll happen where I'm like setting a stone and my hand like slips and I like jab my hand. And it happens all the time. But I think it's about learning to evolve with tools and kind of sitting there and when you have a problem like that, think, how can I make this easier, you know? And so I think that would be just my biggest advice.
That's amazing. I think that's a great piece of advice. So this has been really amazing speaking with you. Your craft and creativity is just amazing and beautiful.
Thank you.
I hope your business continues to flourish. And if you're looking for unique hair jewelry, I recommend checking out Silver to Strands. We'll have your links below as well, so people can check you out. But yeah, this has been Behind the Niche with Rhiannon Bowen.